So Project B is a massive, massive league for the WNBA. And ironically, I think that Project B and one player in particular is going to really, really help the Indiana Fever out when it comes to how they're going to be able to recruit based off it and how Project B could help the Indiana Fever realistically put together a title contender because a lot of people have been talking with the new potential CBA, and we're obviously working on the assumption that there's going to be a season with the new CBA, that there's going to be some form of
Project B has quickly become one of the most talked about developments in women's basketball, and its impact on the WNBA cannot be overstated. For the Indiana Fever in particular, it represents a massive opportunity. The league is changing how players are recruited, and Project B could realistically give the Fever the tools to build a title contender. With a potential new WNBA collective bargaining agreement, CBA, on the horizon, there's a lot of speculation about what a season under the new rules would look like. Assuming the league moves forward, teams are now weighing a completely different set of strategies for attracting talent. To understand why Project B is so revolutionary, you need to look at the financial structure. Many WNBA players previously earned salaries overseas that were significantly higher than the league minimum in the United States. For instance, a player making $100,000 in the old CBA might have been effectively worth $350,000 internationally. That means instead of sacrificing $20,000 to play in the WNBA, players were actually giving up $120,000 or more. These numbers create serious challenges for teams, as players are unlikely to accept such sacrifices unless the incentives are extraordinary. And yet, the salaries in Project B range widely. Some players will earn under $100,000 per year, while a handful of elite athletes can make up to $2 million. This is possible because the league is backed by venture capital, allowing it to pay top-tier talent amounts that the traditional WNBA could never match. Big names like Alyssa Thomas and Jonquil Jones, along with stars like Nika Awa, are reportedly earning these eye-popping sums. Even players who have had an off year in previous seasons, such as Courtney Vandersloot, maintain their high earning potential thanks to historical performance and marketability. Then there's the shockwave that hit the league with Sophie Cunningham's departure. Sophie was once considered Project B's crown jewel, the player who seemed untouchable. Her exit wasn't subtle, it was explosive. Her public reaction revealed raw anger and frustration, highlighting the harsh reality of a league that prioritizes entertainment and audience appeal as much as basketball skill. Project B's system, which had propelled her to financial success, also proved to be unpredictable and unforgiving. Sophie's appeal was built as much on her personality and fan connection as her talent, but even that wasn't enough to secure her place indefinitely. This moment served as a stark reminder to all players. In a venture capital-backed league driven by crowd engagement, no one is truly irreplaceable. Despite this, Project B remains a major draw for talent. Sophie Cunningham's ability to attract audiences makes her one of the most valuable players, and it wouldn't be surprising if she ends up being the highest-paid participant. The league is structured like a basketball traveling tour, visiting multiple cities over short periods. Stars like Kelsey Mitchell, Maureen Johannes, and even Caitlin Clark are likely to participate, as sponsors and brands, including Nike, actively encourage their involvement. The global exposure and financial rewards make it an attractive option for many players, even if it means enduring constant travel. Project B isn't just a new league, it's a revolution. Unlike traditional WNBA contracts, which often involve salary caps and incremental growth, this league offers immediate, substantial financial incentives. It challenges the old model and promises players unprecedented earnings based on their marketability, performance, and ability to draw crowds. The league's approach allows teams, like the Indiana Fever, to build competitive rosters with financial muscle, rather than relying solely on draft picks or traditional scouting. For players, this creates both incredible opportunity and intense competition. The timing of Project B could not have been better. It coincides with negotiations over a new WNBA CBA, which could reduce maximum contracts and remove winning discounts, bonuses awarded to players who accept lower pay to join championship teams. This development magnifies the difference between minimum contracts and true market value. Suddenly, What might have been a modest financial sacrifice becomes a significant career decision. Project B swoops in as a clear alternative, providing players with a way to reclaim their worth while still playing at a high level. The traditional notion of loyalty to a WNBA team is now complicated by the lure of massive, guaranteed salaries and global exposure. Many players in the WNBA, including those on the Indiana Fever, are now evaluating their options more carefully. Project B emphasizes visibility, crowd engagement, and entertainment value alongside basketball skill. Players are no longer judged purely on traditional metrics like points or rebounds. They are evaluated on how many fans they attract and the attention they generate. In other words, the league is transforming the idea of meritocracy in women's basketball. Top talent earns money, yes, but even role players with strong fan appeal can secure lucrative contracts. Sophie Cunningham, for example, may be around the 50th best player in the WNBA by traditional standards, but her versatility, consistent performance, and marketability make her invaluable in Project B. She embodies the type of player who benefits from this new system. Hardworking, underrated, and capable of drawing attention, even if not considered a superstar. Other players like Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston are also likely to participate because of the financial incentives. The league's open structure and lack of a salary cap mean that compensation is determined by the value each player brings to the overall spectacle, rather than by rigid contractual rules. The pay structure is complex and tiered. While a few elite players receive multimillion-dollar salaries, many others earn modest sums under $100,000. This disparity creates a stratified environment where exposure, audience draw, and personal brand become critical factors. Venture capital fuels the league, but it's distributed selectively, creating a hierarchy that rewards not just skill but visibility and star power. Players must carefully weigh the risks and rewards of participation, considering both financial gain and long-term career development. In essence, Project B represents a paradigm shift in women's basketball. It challenges conventional wisdom, redefines success, and introduces a level of financial freedom previously unseen in the sport. For teams like the Indiana Fever, it provides the means to assemble competitive, high-profile rosters capable of contending for titles. For players, it offers the chance to earn salaries that reflect true market value, rather than predetermined scales. It also exposes the fragility of career stability in a rapidly evolving sports ecosystem, reminding everyone involved that talent alone is not enough. Marketability, fan engagement, and timing matter just as much. Ultimately, Project B is more than a league. It's an entertainment-driven global phenomenon. It reshapes the way women's basketball operates, creating a landscape where money, exposure, and performance intersect in unprecedented ways. Players like Sophie Cunningham illustrate both the potential rewards and inherent risks, showing how a league built on crowd appeal can elevate careers or abruptly alter trajectories. The impact on the WNBA, traditional contracts, and the sport as a whole is profound. As this new model continues to evolve, one thing is clear. Project B is changing the game forever, forcing players, teams, and fans to rethink what it means to succeed in professional women's basketball. In Project B, Sophie Cunningham's value skyrocketed in ways that defy traditional basketball logic. Her worth in this new league went far beyond statistics, awards, or even her on-court performance. Project B had introduced a radically different way to measure success, one that considered entertainment, marketability, and fan engagement as much as raw talent. Suddenly, Sophie wasn't just a player. She became a symbol of this new model, an example of how unconventional factors could dictate a player's value and career trajectory. Her journey took on almost a cinematic quality, illustrating the strange and sometimes unpredictable rules of this innovative league. What made Sophie Cunningham so valuable wasn't her triple-double potential. She rarely achieved that, or any MVP accolades, because she didn't have those. The secret was her magnetic personality and her undeniable ability to consistently draw crowds. Project B was designed as a traveling women's basketball tour, and its success depended entirely on filling seats. Fans needed to show up at every stop, and Sophie had the unique combination of on-court fire and off-court charisma that guaranteed attention. She was more than a player. She was a living marketing asset whose presence translated directly into revenue. This reality created a paradox. Players who were objectively better in terms of basketball skill, like Leo Fiebig, were often valued far less by Project B. Fiebig's talent was undeniable, but she lacked the star power that could attract massive audiences. Project B operated on a different set of priorities. Entertainment appeal and crowd engagement outweighed pure athletic performance. For many traditional players, this was a shocking awakening. Years of honing their craft no longer guaranteed maximum financial rewards. In Project B, star power was the currency. The league made this philosophy clear by partnering with an events company to emphasize spectacle over pure competition. Each stop on the tour was designed as a must-see show, not just a game. In contrast, the WNBA remained the pinnacle for high-level competition, but Project B offered players something different. Celebrity status, massive financial gain, and exposure to audiences far beyond the normal scope of professional sports. Sophie Cunningham's ability to draw fans made her indispensable. It was speculated she could earn as much as $2 million per year, despite being ranked lower in traditional WNBA skill assessments. Her earnings highlighted a fundamental shift in women's basketball. Marketability and audience appeal could be more lucrative than conventional talent. Players who built strong personal brands or cultivated fan followings could see their value explode, even if their statistics didn't match those of superstars. For teams like the Indiana Fever, this presented an unexpected advantage. Players associated with popular teams could earn more in Project B because their existing fan bases guaranteed attention and ticket sales. This phenomenon, sometimes called the Fever tax, gave Fever players a financial edge and created a powerful recruiting tool. The potential to earn millions in Project B also changed the calculus for WNBA contracts. If a player could make a fortune in the off-season, taking a slightly lower WNBA salary became much less significant. Players could focus on championship goals or preferred teams while knowing their primary income came from Project B. This shift fundamentally altered how players approached loyalty, team selection, and career planning. Even mid-tier players could see massive benefits if they had strong crowd appeal or a large fan following. However, with great rewards came high risk. Venture capital funding was generous but volatile, demanding rapid growth and immediate results. A player's value could plummet overnight if audience interest waned or if a newer, more marketable player emerged. Sophie's situation illustrated this precarious reality. Her wealth and status depended on public perception and entertainment metrics, not solely on her basketball skills. The very factor that made her valuable, the ability to draw crowds, also made her vulnerable. If fans' attention shifted, her earnings and position could vanish suddenly. Project B's traveling tour model heightened this risk. Each event was designed as a global spectacle, and the league relied on star players to pack arenas, sometimes for a single game in a particular city. If the show failed to deliver excitement or if key players didn't generate enough buzz, the financial structure of the league could falter. For Sophie, the pressure was immense. Her career and income were directly tied to how entertaining and marketable she was, creating an environment of constant scrutiny and stress. This system also revealed the harsh reality of entertainment-driven leagues. Traditional WNBA contracts, while lower in pay, offered more stability. Project B promised life-changing wealth but demanded players bet their financial future on unpredictable factors like audience trends, social media popularity, and spectacle performance. Sophie's dramatic exit and public meltdown underscored the emotional and psychological toll of this model. Being valued for charisma rather than skill could feel both exhilarating and destabilizing. The sudden loss of status or revenue wasn't just a professional setback. It was a financial and personal crisis. In Project B, loyalty had little value. Venture capitalists demanded results, and underperforming or less marketable players could be replaced without warning. Past achievements or personal connections mattered little when revenue and engagement metrics were at stake. Sophie's experience became a cautionary tale. Even a player once considered indispensable could face abrupt displacement. The league's ruthless efficiency and focus on spectacle revealed the fleeting nature of fame in a system built on entertainment first. Ultimately, Project B promised a revolution in women's basketball. It offered unprecedented financial rewards, global exposure, and the chance for players to become celebrities beyond the sport itself. But it also exposed the fragility of a career tied to audience appeal rather than purely athletic merit. Sophie Cunningham's story illustrated both the immense opportunities and dangers of this new landscape. Her rise and sudden vulnerability highlighted the transformative, yet precarious, nature of the league, showing that even immense talent and charisma could be subject to sudden change. For the WNBA and teams like the Indiana Fever, Project B created both a challenge and an advantage. Players now had new incentives, shifting priorities, and a broader range of career opportunities. The league's emphasis on entertainment reshaped how athletes approached their value and financial security. For mid-tier players with strong fan connections, the opportunities were staggering. For all players, the psychological, financial, and professional stakes had never been higher. Sophie Cunningham's journey in Project B is a striking example of how professional sports are evolving. Talent alone no longer guarantees reward. Marketability, fan engagement, and the ability to entertain have become as important as points and rebounds. Project B's rise is both exciting and cautionary. It offers immense wealth but demands constant performance, public appeal, and adaptability. For players, it is a new frontier. A place where opportunity and risk are inseparable, and where fortune and failure can change in an instant. Sophie's experience reminds everyone that in this brave new world, the most valuable asset isn't always skill. It's the power to captivate an audience.